the big Powerball jackpot winner, Manuel Franco. Come on over.
Can you smile, Manuel?
Very happy. That's great.
Little nerves. Nice job.
We're all smiling for you, I know
Very
that.
exciting day, no question.
You want to go ahead and take a seat? Okay. Mula, I'm going to hand this back to you.
With that, Manuel has prepared a statement that he would like to read. Following that, he is prepared to take a few questions. So I'm going to hand it over to Manuel.
I just want to start by saying thank you all for being here.
Oh, wait. Oh, could you give him that mic
Just
too?
give him
This one?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
I just want to start by saying thank you to everyone who has supported me throughout the years. I don't even know what to say. So my name is Manuel Franco. I am actually 24 years old. I really wish that I was a New Berlin resident. I know that a lot of people in New Berlin really wanted a New Berlin resident. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I am actually from West Dallas, and that's pretty much my home for a while. So the story that how I won is a bit of a tale. At around 2 p.m., I had left work, and I pretty much felt lucky. You know, it's a weird lucky feeling. It's not natural, not normal at all. But I walk into the Speedway in New Berlin, and I purchase $10 worth of individual, Powerball tickets. And I honestly felt so lucky that I did look up at the camera, and I really wanted to wink at it because I just had that lucky feeling. And I know Cindy here has seen it, and she knows that it is true that I did look up at that camera because I really did feel lucky. Didn't wink, so I'm kind of disappointed in that, but that's all right. I did stop at that Speedway 13 minutes after work. I don't know if I said that or not. So how I ended up finding out that I won, I actually do not watch the drawings at nighttime. I didn't even check in the morning. I went to work not even knowing any better to check my tickets. Oh boy. I left work that day, and I remember at work hearing that, Powerball winner Wisconsin, and I never thought two things about it at all. I got home, and I see the tickets that me and my girlfriend had bought together, and that's really what reminded me of the Powerball. I went to go grab those two tickets that we had bought together, and I went on my computer, and I searched up the Powerball numbers, and, all the news articles that you see underneath the Powerball numbers said Wisconsin winner, and I'm like, well, I live in Wisconsin, so I probably got a chance, Like, that's all I knew. And I went through the tickets that me and her had bought together, and nothing. So I was disappointed. I go into my wallet, and I reach for the tickets that I had bought, those $10 worth of tickets, so all individual, and I go through them. And I think it was the third ticket. I did win $4, and I was super excited about that. It doesn't happen very often, so never claimed it, by the way, the $4. I get to what I thought was the last ticket, and it didn't win, obviously. I had all the tickets in my left hand, and I swapped them over to my right because I was discarding them as I went. And all of a sudden, as I change hands, I see that last ticket come out. It was so attached to the other one, and I'm thinking, oh my God, like, no way. And as dramatically as I've said it to many of my friends and families, I looked at it one number at a time, and I saw that first number. I didn't think anything of it, but I knew that it was something special because I normally don't get the first number. It's always the fourth or the fifth, or just the Powerball. And I see that second number, and my heart starts to pump and whatnot. And at that moment, I'm like, no freaking way, Like, I pull that ticket in front of it off, and I go straight to that Powerball number, and I look at it, and it matched. And at this moment, I was going insane pretty much. And I look back at the 3 other numbers, and they all matched. And I don't want to embarrass myself in live TV right now, but what I can explain is it was amazing. My heart started racing, blood pumping. My blood felt warm. I screamed for about 5 or 10 minutes. Good thing that my neighbors didn't hear, you know. It's really amazing to just win. Let me just check. So I've played Powerball since I first could, when I was 18 years old, 6 years ago. So I am 24. My very first birthday when I was 18, I did actually buy a Powerball ticket. So it's great to actually win for once.
Where do you work? What do you do?
Do you think that's no?
We'll get to questions in a little bit. Let's let him finish his statement, please.
So obviously everyone always hopes when you buy a ticket to actually win it, and I can tell you right now that when I won, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it at all, and I got that paranoia that you get, where you think the whole world's after you. And now I found out that realistically, if you don't tell anybody, nobody knows, and that's how I guess I got to hear. So I'm not sure what the next chapter is going to bring for my life, but I have been setting up the best financial team, the best lawyer team that I could. I just really want to thank Andrew here, because he made me much more confident in myself to be here to claim that ticket. And without him, I don't think that I'd be here right now talking. But yeah, it's just it's amazing. It feels like a dream, and it feels honestly like any moment I'm going to wake up and I'm just going to be back in my room, you know, in my bed, laying, and it's going to be a disappointment, but I can see that you guys are all here, and it's not that way. I simply just can't believe that an ordinary guy like me could ever win the Powerball. And the $2 you spend on the ticket for that hope that you'd win it's worth it. And I know that because I've won, but it is realistically worth it, and it's amazing. Thank you guys for being here, and that's all I have to say about my statement. I will answer a couple questions after.
Could you sleep at all last night,
Oh.
knowing that today was coming?
I couldn't sleep any day. 3-4 hours a day, you know, that's about it. Yeah.
What are the first things you plan on doing with the money?
I'm not sure yet. Right now, what I do know is that I want to take a break. Want to just let it sink in, make sure I'm not making any bad decisions or anything like that. I do want to be responsible. I do want to help out the world and, you know, places, but I have to do it correctly, and I have to make sure that my future is secure. Any more?
Taking the annuities or the cash?
After discussion, I wanted to take the annuity, but I have been convinced otherwise, so I am taking the lump sum.
I think we're related, so
Are we?
I would.
I mean, have you had people come out of the woodwork yet? Are you prepared for that?
I'm ready, and I know how to say no to random people. But if he's related, I got to give him something. But yeah, I am ready for that.
Tell us where you grew up, where you went to high school.
That's something that I wish I could, but
Okay.
right now I'm not going to disclose that.
What have you been doing for work? Can you just give us something more general?
So the second day of work, after I knew that I won, I honestly couldn't work. I was just I was sweating so much that I'm sure that everyone at work noticed. And I really wanted to say something to anybody there, and I knew that it was a bad decision, and I pretty much never showed up for work again. That's what happened.
How do you plan to continue living the quote-unquote normal life moving forward?
As much as I can, yeah.
And I do want to make clear, this ticket was not the one you purchased with your girlfriend. This was your...
This was my ticket, yes. And it's really strange for her to actually want to buy Powerball tickets because she normally doesn't play. I'm the one that plays, and I normally have just $5 I spend every Powerball drawing, so I end up spending about $10 a week on Powerball tickets or lottery tickets.
So you quit your job the day after you had checked your tickets?
2 days after.
Can you repeat the question, please?
We all dream about what we'll do if we'll win. What were your dreams before you won?
I just really wanted to travel the world and, you know, stuff like that. I'm not a big guy that's going to go buy fancy stuff. Like, well, of course, I might go buy fancy stuff, but nothing, nothing too big. And I'm sure you'll never see me as, like, one of the people who, you know, went bankrupt, went broke, or anything like that. I plan to live my life normal as much as possible.
Are you a father?
Spanish at all?
No, I'm not. I do speak Spanish, yes.
Can you give us a little statement in Spanish, please?
Estoy bien contento que gané. Es un sueño que nunca creí que podría pasar y estoy bien contento de la fe que tenía yo. Pues,
Thank you.
Trying to go on any of those reality TV shows, you know, like Lottery Dream Home?
I don't think so.
What was your biggest money concern before winning?
Trying to get that bank account to $1,000 was my biggest concern.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Just in broad terms, what did you do for your day job? Were you a painter or an engineer? What, I mean, nothing? Okay.
no.
Were you born, raised in the Milwaukee area?
Yes, I can say that, yeah. I was born in Milwaukee, so.
Do you think you'll stay in the Milwaukee area after this?
Currently, no, and I'm not really going to disclose too much. I actually don't know myself whether or not I'm going to stay or not.
Do you have family in the area?
I won't disclose that either.
Those Brewers doing pretty good. You want to get some tickets to those playoff games or Brewers in the playoffs?
One day.
Is this your attorney, and if so, what is his name?
Andrew Stoltman, Stoltmann. I'm his attorney.
So how long after you got the ticket did you hire Andrew?
Well, it's only been, what, like 3.5 weeks, so pretty soon. I guess that's all I'm going to say.
What kinds of dreams have you been having about what you can do? It sounds like you want to help people, so what kinds of things have you been thinking about? It's amazing to be in your position.
I just, what I've been thinking is that I want to make sure that if I'm helping out somebody, that it's actually, you know, my money is actually going to go and actually help somebody out. Like, I don't know, I understand that there are other charities, but I want to make sure that I'm actually doing a difference.
Are you looking to start maybe another career path, or maybe start up a small business?
Possibly. It's something that I have to think about, but like right now, I have to just let the moment sink in and understand that I don't want to make any bad decisions.
Have you bought any more Powerball tickets?
I don't plan to play anymore, no.
Now to clarify, did you say you actually winked at the camera or you felt like winking?
I wanted to, I really did, and that's why I looked up and I didn't do it, no.
Yeah.
So when you tell your family and friends that you went, what is their reaction?
My dad cried a lot. My mom, she thought I was in trouble. And she's like, you need to tell me the truth. Like, is that really what happened? I said, yes, Mom, that is true.
Did you go to college? Do you have plans to?
I won't discuss anything like that.
Do you have plans to use the money for school or for yourself?
For family members, yes. Like, if they do want to continue school, I will help them with their education, yes.
Are you still driving the same car you were driving when you were going to work?
Yes.
What is it?
I'm not going to disclose that one either.
What year is it?
It's newish.
What have the past 3.5 weeks been like for you, kind of keeping this away from the public eye? How have you been living your life? Have you been on the edge, scared people are going to find out? Or?
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like I said, like I honestly thought there was somebody behind me every single day, and it is really hard to live your life knowing that you have, you know, the ticket that everyone wants, but realistically, it wasn't that for me, and there was nobody behind me. I just felt that way. How did I claim to take it? I came here.
Just today?
Oh, I had my attorney deal with most of that. So.
What have you been doing with the ticket since the day when you realized you looked at it and you had won? Can you tell us what you did with it to secure it?
Oh, like to bring it here?
Yeah, I mean, where's the ticket been for the last 3.5 weeks?
Oh, I kept it in a safe, but in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is where?
Somewhere.
Did you tell anybody you kept it in the safe?
Oh, yeah, a couple people did know, yeah.
So was this money you thought you could ever have on your own without the lottery?
Oh, no,
No?
God, no. No, I needed the lottery's help for this, so.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer one more question, and then that's it.
What's the next thing you're going to do when you walk out of here today as part of your winning?
I'm just going to take off somewhere and just honestly just take my time with it. Just think it over, and I talk to my family and just make sure that I'm doing it, spending the money the right way. That's
Is there
it.
anything that we haven't